After loss at Supreme Court, Yeshiva University cancels all student clubs to prevent LGBT plus club from meeting. Yeshiva University has abruptly suspended activities of its LGBTQ plus student club in the wake of a Supreme Court decision that's ordered the school to recognize the student group for now. In an email sent to students on Friday, the university officials told the club to hold off on all undergraduate club activities while it immediately takes steps to follow the roadmap provided by the U.S. Supreme Court to protect YU's religious freedom. Last week, the High Court decided in favor of the LGBTQ plus group and YU Pride Alliance, allowing them official recognition from the Jewish University in New York. By a 5-4 vote Wednesday, the justices lifted a temporary hold on a court order that requires Yeshiva University to recognize the group, even as a legal fight continues in New York courts. Two conservatives, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, sided with the court's three liberal justices to form a majority. The disagreement among the justices appears to be mostly about the procedure, with the majority writing in a brief, unsigned order that Yeshiva University should return to state court to seek quick review and temporary relief while the case continues. The case was keenly observed by other faith-based institutions. Following the ruling, the president of the university, Rabbi Ari Berman, said that faith-based universities have the right to establish clubs within its understanding of the Torah. Now, that's... First of all, Jesus. New York, really? New York City?
First off, Jesus doesn't have anything to do with it.
I know. Not the Messiah, not the correct Messiah, that's wrong. But anyway, so Yeshiva has always been a relatively secular university. It is not a Hasidic school where, you go there to train to be a rabbi. This is just a university in general. Religious study is not the majority part. This is not like Oral Roberts or, the other Baylor or other,
Liberty
Liberty, Regent.
We all cringe when we say Liberty.
Yeah, not far away on the pool boy, but
too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Oh, please, never soon enough. But anyway, so Yeshiva itself is it's relatively secular. So this move really struck me as a surprise. One, New York City. Two,
but it's not New York City.
A Jewish school, it is not a particularly conservative one at that. And three, they are running so fast to the Supreme Court, they tripped over themselves. I mean, this is all procedural. They basically never finish the case at New York Supreme Court.
Well, that is very likely that there's something that we don't know.
No.
That there's something
what do you mean,
behind
something
this.
We don't know?
But probably the most likely is money. That there's either a donor base or supporter base or something that's behind.
Actually, I think the thing is they've been led by, the lawsuit is led by the Beckett Fund, which is a arch-conservative Catholic movement law firm that they try to basically do the same thing as Alliance Defending Freedom, where they just kind of imagine cases to sue and make sure that basically preempt LGBTQ rights before it starts.
But the separation, this religious versus secular, if you saw that email that went out, it mentioned Chagim, holidays, and at the very end it closes with Shana Tova, Happy New Year. Well, happy 5783 to you too. What a lovely way to ring in the new year. I mean, you think that after almost 6,000 years, they'd get with the program and see it's time to move forward, that they're gonna just get left behind.
And now all the clubs suffer.
Right.
Now there's no clubs.
There's something really dangerous too, because we could read this as two of the conservative judges voted, with the majority here. That is, we didn't anticipate how they were going to vote, even though we
were
could have.
surprised.
We were slightly surprised, but that could be really misleading. If there's something that is happening a lot with especially Chief Roberts, is that he often he essentially baits these big companies, essentially I'm going to call them companies, right? Who are working in favor of religious freedom or whatever that is or isn't in this case or isn't. To essentially, this is not, you didn't get this time, but he gives them the roadmap for how to do it, how to secure a win, a victory. That is, he has been working really hard, and now especially with with Amy Coney Barrett, we certainly see the expansion of religious freedom to essentially mean protecting majority religion, which has often not meant that's not what it was. It was to protect minority religions, especially like Santeria. There's a big case in Hialeah that goes to the U.S. Supreme Court in the 90s to protect Afro-Cuban religion. That was, against the majority, right? Yeah. This is now it's a radically different idea of what religion and giving special privileges. So
I'm curious. From your standpoint, Dr. Capo does lots of studies of history and historical perspective. What do you have a prediction of where this is going to go? Any thoughts in terms of what you think is going to happen?
I think we see a very clear expansion of religious freedom to mean to be so expansive that it will essentially be that they can discriminate, right? That is, and that's not how they're going to read this, right? But that is that they should be immune to certain things, right?
So if that is the case, and the logical case over until there is more appointments at the court, less Biden or whoever in the future can have more appointments, like Trump has created a supermajority. Is it a situation where you would think that we've just got to get used to this, that the court is going to rule this way, and they don't have to sell you the cake, and they don't have to create your website, and you don't have the right to meet in their universities, and we just have to accept that?
Well, no. I hope that we don't just accept that. I mean, who knows, right? That is, I can't predict the future. Where does it look like? I mean, this has been decades in the making. That is, the kind of changing of the partisan nature of the Supreme Court is decades in the making. Like Roe, the overturning of Roe didn't happen overnight. This was decades and decades of really hard work, and it's a movement. It's a movement, right?
It's incremental. They just move it little bit by little bit by little bit.
That's right.
It's costing Yeshiva millions of dollars.
Yeah.
This process is costing them in every business. If you're Coca-Cola, when you get the kind of publicity that Yeshiva has gotten in the last 90 days, it's costing Coca-Cola millions of negative dollars. It's costing Yeshiva millions of negative dollars. And they continue to move at a lightning pace. So there must be something that they're evaluating that's saying that it's valuable for our brand.
They probably have a strong backer that's, a monetary backer who
there's money there.
There's money here.
Right, of course.
Meaning that they're conservative and Jewish and who wants to
or maybe even not Jewish too.
I imagine that taking this position will also garner quite a bit of funds, right? That it will raise funds. So it is, because this opinion will not, this will affect all secular, all religious, both, right? That it will have an effect on all. Yeah. Can universities discriminate against clubs?
I mean,
I want us to move on and move on to a politics topic. But one observation that I have about Yeshiva is on July 1st of this year, I had no idea over the course of 2.5 months we would do as many stories about this secular university in New York. So it is a very significant story to the LGBTQ community. Yeah. We will continue to watch. And I am sure this is not the last that we have heard from Yeshiva. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.